for this blissful flow, something I want us to consider before we hit the mat is whether or not you go by that slogan, live without regret. I know that we hear that a lot, and hopefully at some point or juncture in your life, you have taken that to heart, and anything that you're feeling called to do or anything you're feeling a drive to accomplish, hopefully you're putting that into action, because that's our theme for tonight. And if you're not putting that into action and you're not feeling, kind of that push or that encouragement, this class is to help you to encourage yourself to harness your inner power and to move forward with some more zest in life. So we're going to start on our backs. And let me think. If you have a bolster, grab a bolster for today's practice. And then I would suggest, since we're starting on the back, to place the bolster under your knees and to place your hands on your abdomen. Close and rest your eyes. And then I want you to take your hands together and rub very vigorously. Sometimes we rub the hands so that we can just explore and experiment to see if we can sense and feel the magnetism or the energy generated between them. But you guys have done that with me, so now I want you to release your hands, cup them, and place them lightly over your eyes. Feed your eyes, the sensory organ, some good energy. The eyes that are the sense that goes back to the third eye. The insight we receive from the third eye. Our imagination that allows us to hope and to dream, to create a vision for our life, for ourselves, for our future. And then I want you to take your hands together again and start to rub, generating that action and energy. And then don't completely close the ears, just cup your ears lightly. Often we go inside and we mention listening to our inner voice, letting go of any negative self-talk, extracting those negative seeds that could have been planted by someone else that we took as truth, but it wasn't. May we heed and listen to the guidance of our higher self. And take your hands back together and rub, rub, rub. And now you're going to place them lightly over your mouth. So there may have been times where you wanted to live without regret, and maybe you had a desire that you wanted to fulfill. And maybe it went against the grain. Maybe it went against society or what your parents may have wanted for you, or teachers or peers. And how they may have tried to, not purposely shut you down, but maybe discouraged you and place doubt in your mind or your heart about it. And so maybe cover our mouths in order to mind our tongues and what we say to others. So we're not taking their vision, hopes, or dreams away. May we utter words of encouragement, kindness, and compassion. And now rub the hands one more time. And then you're going to place the hands to return lightly to the stomach. Now feel the heat between your hands and your core, and continue to lie here and take rest. And as you're breathing in and out through the nose, acknowledging the bellowing effect, the belly rising on the inhale and dropping on the exhale. Continue to breathe in a diaphragmatic way, relaxing your body, calming your mind. And then I want you to take these questions into consideration. What is it that you really want to experience while you're here? By here, I mean in this human form and on this earthly plane. Consider for a moment that today was your last. And reflecting back on what you've done thus far, what you've experienced thus far, would you, by chance, have any regret for not doing or completing something? Have you always dreamt of being some type of entrepreneur? Have you been drawn, maybe since childhood, to visit a certain place, city, or country, and have yet to do so? Have you wanted to live somewhere? Have you wanted to help humanity in some way? Maybe getting involved with something you resonate with, or volunteering. Do you have a present passion that maybe you're wanting to try to make a living with? Remember, where there's a will, there's a way. Maybe it's learning to fly. Perhaps you could check into going hang gliding down at Lookout Mountain. Maybe it's checking in to a motorized hang gliding experience. Perhaps becoming a pilot, parachuting. Remember, one of our own presidents parachuted the day he turned 80 years old. It's never too late. Can we live without regret? I'm bringing this up because we're in a present time where energy is being purged and cleansed and cleared and removed and untangled from our whole essence, not just this lifetime, but from others. We're going through a time where we're dropping and facing fears. And when things are dropped, unraveled, or released, it opens up a void, a space, a clearance for something new. We're experiencing new energies coming in that are creating our growth potential, that's actually taking us back to our soul's original contract. So state the question, and then we'll bring this back up later in our practice. So on your next inhalation, let's stretch the arms overhead. And as you exhale, take the tree frog pose, what Yin Yoga calls the stirrup pose, where the knees are hugging in towards your upper body, but they're separate. They're kind of angled towards the outer shoulders or frame of the body. And the ankles and toes are relaxed. One more deep breath. And then slowly begin to lift the soles of the feet upward so that they're facing the ceiling above. And maybe taking your handhold to the shins or to the big toe or to the inner arches of the feet or the outer frames of the feet to pull the feet down, to drop the knees lower, to anchor into your low back, and to dig a little deeper into the hips. And then come back to that diaphragmatic breath. Breathing in and out through the nose. And then go ahead and release the feet. Roll to one side of your body. And we're going to come up to take a seat. Sometimes I suggest sitting on a bolster, but we're not going to need it, at least right now. So you can set it to the side. All right, when you come to a comfortable cross-legged position, draw your hands to Anjali Mudra, to the heart. Inhale, lace your fingers together. And as you exhale, press the wrist forward in my direction. Now we're going to do circle of joy. So as you inhale, lift the arms up alongside the ears. We're going to go a little slower with this instead of moving with breath so that we're holding each of these a little bit longer. Inhale up through the heel of your hands. Exhale, circle the arms behind your back. Lace your fingers together. Roll your shoulders back. Lengthen the forearms away from the sacrum. And then as you exhale, you're going to bow forward. Now, don't feel like you have to go very far, right? We all have restrictions somewhere. And I'm feeling a lot of restriction in my body today because I overdid it yesterday and my body's quite upset with me. It's really sore. Inhale, come back to the top, and then exhale, bring hands home, sweet home to the heart. Now, since we folded over the lap, we need to crisscross the other way. So take it in the other direction. We're going to do circle of joy again. Bring your hands to namaste at the heart. Lace your fingers together. And then exhale, extend your arms in front. And then maintain this and breathe. We're lifting up to the floating ribs, up through the heart, up through the crown. But then if the shoulders are shrugging towards the ears, relax them down. Inhale, fly the arms up. Breathe into your side body. Create space between each vertebra. As you exhale, circle the arms behind your back. We are habitual creatures. Notice you laced your fingers the same way. So swap it and open up the chest. Exhale, fold down. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. And imagine you're creating a whole bubble of joy surrounding your body. Inhale, come back to the top. And then exhale, hands return to heart space. All right, we're going to take the arms up to frame the face. And as we exhale, we're going to lower the left hand to the floor and just teeter over to one side. Refreshing your breath. And let those steady, even breaths help to extract any useless thoughts from your mind. And then I want you to close your eyes. I want you to consider, we posed a few questions at the beginning in our centering. If something came to mind that you really still want to do or experience before you leave this body, imagine that happening now in your mind's eye. And then inhale, come back to the top. And then as you exhale, you can land your right hand down. You can curve over to that side. I would close the eyes again. Spiritual teachers have told us since the beginning, and are even more so saying it today, we hold more power than we think. So tap in to your inner power, to your inner reservoir of strength, affirming strength and courage. Fill up my body cells. Inhale, come back to the top, and you can relax the hand down. All right, we're going to do that circling Kriya. So remember, if you want to stay taller, you can circle around the axis of the tailbone and just kind of rotate your ribs. If you want to make it much broader, you can circle down and around over your lap. You can even lean back past your sits bones when you come up to the top. Feel free to close the eyes. So this theme tonight is all about encouraging us and to remind ourselves that we are co-creators, that we're all participating in this play of life, that the earth is our playground, and that everyone we're in contact with is a teacher of some kind. Some people we want to emulate because we admire them. And there's others that we learn from because of their words or behaviors, and we know we don't want to be like them. So all can be teachers. A lot of really successful people say one big piece of advice is just not to give up and to believe in yourself. And then inhale, come back to the top, flip your hands open, and just notice the effects, right? We were like rubbing the hands, externally so that we could feel the heat and energy being emitted from them earlier. Now that we've been doing that Kriya, that repetitive action, notice the energy inside that's being emitted. And then open your eyes. We're going to swap the positioning of the feet one more time, because now we're going to circle in the opposite direction. Again, you can be high or you can drop low, yogi's choice. And just circling around and around. Freedom of expression on the mats is encouraged. Always suggest you personalize your practice. There may be some days where you want to amp it up beyond where I'm asking you to go. and you know how to challenge yourself in a healthy way. And at other times, modifying for various reasons. And that way you're working authentically. One more, and let's come back to the top. Flip your hands open, take pause. So one thing I'm trying to teach my son is, how, if you think of something, if you want to do something, you need to speak it. You need to write it. You need to imagine it. You need to feel it. You need to believe it's going to happen. And I've been slowly trying to fulfill some of the things I've wanted to do with him, such as going his #1 place in all of America. I did that with him last summer. And now that I'm only having him 4 more years, I asked him, where would you want to go anywhere in the world? And I decided I'm going to take him next year. I want him to live without regret. Now open the eyes. Let's go ahead and come up. Imagine if our parents had taught us that. I was not taught this. Come to, anywhere on your mat. We're going to do a little bit breath work in the chair pose. So go ahead and bend your knees and lift the arms up to Utkatasana. And when you come to Utkatasana, remember your knees shouldn't go way past the toes. In fact, you can look down. If you can't see your toes, you just want to back your thigh bones up so that you can. Zip up through your midriff, reach the fingertips skyward. And then as we exhale, we're going to blow it out through the mouth. Inhale up, exhale. Inhale up. So this sweeping that we're doing, the strong exhale that we're creating is mimicking the clearing of the energy that we're experiencing right now. They're calling it the clearing of Piscean energy. They say in the Piscean age that we're leaving, we have been very doubtful of ourselves and our power. And this Aquarius energy that we're moving into, we're going to be tapping into it and really using it. Hold chair. And then straighten your legs. Bring your hands to rest over your heart. Close your eyes. Now feel all that energy surging through your lower body. And imagine as you breathe out, you're sending those ancestral wounds, those fears that have been planted from your past, any doubts are just washing away through the soles of the feet. Imagine with the inhale, as you feel the crown of the head lifting a little, that the energy is ascending and evolving and moving upward. Back to the light. And envision what you want in your third eye. And then open up your eyes. All right, we're going to turn to the top of the mat. Hands are going to come to prayer position at the heart. We're going to inhale, lift the arms up to Urdhva Hastasana. Really root and ground your feet. Exhale, palms together and slowly hinge forward to Uttanasana. Now notice in Uttanasana, when you bowed out, how your feet may have become ungrounded. So press deeper. Burrow those feet down into your sticky mat and feel that activate your calves, your quads, your hamstrings. And then inhale. Inhale, keep anchoring the feet, but lift halfway up to Ardha Uttanasana. Look ahead as if you were looking off into the future. And then exhale, fold down. Inhale, let's step back to plank. And when you step back to plank, streamline the body here. From plank position, rock forward, lower down to Chaturanga, that low push-up. Inhale, glide up, upward facing dog. Exhale, curl your toes, roll it back to downward facing dog. Grip your hands into the sticky mat, roll the shoulders away from your ears. Keep soaring the seat higher. And then magnify your breath. When you're ready, travel the feet forward towards the top of the mat. Ground the halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, lower back in. Inhale all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to do a couple more of those as a warm-up. Inhale, arms splay up. Exhale, hands together, bow straight down, Uttanasana. Activate the feet to bring it up, chain of the legs. Inhale, halfway up to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, close back into self. Inhale, step back to plank. Pause here and build a little strength in your muscles and bones. Look ahead with your eyes, set your focus. Rock forward, lower down to Chaturanga. Keep that focus. And then inhale, the focus changes as you look upward. Exhale, roll it back. And you're gazing towards the space between the feet. Open up the pit of the arms. Open up behind your knees. Imagine there's a valve in your head that you're opening to drain any worrisome thoughts away. On your next inhalation, bring the feet to the top of the mat, however you want to arrive, lifting halfway up when you do, and then exhale, close back into self. Now pause here, affirming mentally within, nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back as I fulfill my soul contract, as I live without regret. Inhale, root down to come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to do one more asana out. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, humbly fold. Now that we're opening the back of the body, remember we hold things in the back of the body from our past. Imagine it all just dripping, dripping, dripping away. Inhale, open the front of the body. Let your heart shine through. Exhale, close back into self. Inhale, take your plank. Rock forward, lower down to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, rising to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. And exhale back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Spiral the muscles through the arms, spiral the muscles through the legs. Expand the underside of the belly. Expand your mindset to say, yes, I can. Yes, I will live without regret. Inhale, feet to the front of the mat, however you want to come up. From Ardha Uttanasana, release back down so the crown of the head's facing the floor. Inhale, bring it all the way up to stand at the top. Exhale, hands to prayer position at the heart. All right, we're gonna do one more sun sound for now. Lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold to Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we're going straight to Chaturanga on that exhale. All the way down to the floor, okay? Lift and lengthen each leg. Bring the forearms out in front of you, elbows lodged underneath the head of the shoulder bones, fingers splay out, legs lengthen back, heart lifts. Press down through that pubic bone by tucking the tailbone, engage the buttocks. Toes stretch back around the top portions of the feet. Bring that prana up to the heart. Exhale, slide your hands back, lower to your brow. From lowering down to the brow, curl your toes under, shoulders roll back behind the ears, squeeze the elbows towards your side body, lift your kneecaps, and then press to your palms. See if you can press straight up, plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. I know it's hard to gravity, but hopefully you can manage. Let's all take a cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now we're going to step that right foot forward and up between the hands. We're going to turn and plant the back foot to the floor. Stack the elbow to that knee. Open up to side angle pose. Keep rolling open through that front thigh bone. Keep pushing back through the left thigh bone. If you want to go deeper, feel free. I'm taking it a little bit easier today. My inner thighs, I can't tell if it's the innermost quad or the inner hamstring. Whew. It's not happy today. Exhale, lower the hand to the floor. Spin away from the back heel. Open up to revolving twist. Right hand flies overhead. Try not to allow that right knee to wing out. Keep it aligned over the ankle. Exhale, lower the right hand down. Step back down dog. We're going to take that sequence to the other side. So the left leg's going to step through. Ground your back foot. Pick up your hand so the left elbow can rest on your thigh. Tuck that left hip under. Reach that right arm skyward. Really roll down to the entire sole of the back foot. And that will elevate that inner knee, inner thigh. Create a clear passageway for your breath. Exhale, spin away from the back heel, land your right hand, rotate towards that front thigh bone, left arm radiates upward. Keep your back thigh plucking upward. Exhale, lower the left hand, springboard the back foot forward. Open up your heart center. We're going to close out this sun sound. Release down to Uttanasana. Inhale, build all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. If you're already facing me, you don't have to turn. But I'm going to turn so that you can see that I'm going to take Kali Goddess pose. So the feet are wide like a squat, and they can actually be wider than the low squat. Thighs are going to rotate open, and that's stemming from the mechanic of the hips. Place your hands to prayer position. Hold and breathe. So just think about all the naysayers. My son told me since he could talk, he wanted to be a musician like his father. And he's been drumming since he was like 2, 3 years old. And he's actually pretty good. And he has a grandmother that is constantly trying to tell him, well, what else do you want to do? How do you want to make a living? Well, you need to make sure that you get a degree, and you can't depend on that. And I'm always like telling her, stop saying that. Stop planting those negative seeds. There's plenty of people who thrive in music, and I don't want to give him self-doubt. All right, my thighs are burning. Bring the hands down to the floor, and you can stack your hands on blocks if you need to. Now, I'm going to ask you to do something that I cannot do at this point. So you may want to just say, hey, Robbie, I'm following you. I want to see if you can lift your heels. I'm not going to be watching you, so don't worry if you can or can't. But this is one reason why I'm sore, so I'm not going to be doing it. So lift to the balls of the feet, elevate your heels. That's how much fire, if you're starting to feel it burn, that's how much fire we need with our passion, our desire to make things. All right, let's go ahead and come back up. Woo. All right, we're going to bring the feet closer together now. Not too close, closer than they were. Now we're going to do a twisting Kriya. So we're kind of bouncing the knees. We're swinging the arms from side to side. Let your head turn as well. Let your arms be loose. Excuse me. And then come back to center and just switch your arms. You're still facing the front. And then slow that down. Bring the feet a little closer, the hands together. All this energy that you're feeling from that twisting Kriya, magnetize it up to the third eye, the place where you've been envisioning how you choose to live without regret. We're going to do one more flow. Inhale, the arms circle up. Exhale, hands together and fold down. Uttanasana. Inhale, lift and lengthen out half. Exhale, we're going to Chaturanga Dandasana on one out breath. Come down to the floor. Lift and lengthen each leg. Bring the arms forward. Lift up energetically. And it's so easy to forget about what's happening in the lower body because we're propping the upper body, and you may be sensing your low back or your shoulders or your neck, but really pay attention to your legs and feet. Make sure you're truly contracting your glutes and your buttocks. Retract the belly away from the floor. I thought about doing locust tonight, but then I changed my mind because I heard a couple days ago that the cicadas are coming back this year. I don't know when, I haven't looked it up. And if you're watching this video and you haven't been in Middle Tennessee, in the Nashville area with cicadas, I think they come like every 13 or 17 years. It feels like there's a plague that's hitting us, but we're going to be doing a lot of locust poses at that point, so we're going to do Sphinx today. As you exhale, slide your hands back, come down to your brow. Let's build a little upper body strength and core strength. Curl your toes, lift your knees, shoulders roll back, squeeze your arms. The same way you retracted your belly away from the floor, retract your belly and press up, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shine your hips up, creating that TP shape with your body. On your next inhalation, let's bring the feet to the top of the mat. Open up the heart halfway. Exhale, roll it down. Inhale, build it up. Exhale, hands to heart. I'm going to step to face you again for the Kali Goddess pose. You can keep facing the front if that works for you. Heels are in, toes turn out, thighs roll out, and we're just going to have the hands in prayer today. Now, I'm not going to make you burn as much as we did before. You can come down to fingertips. We're going to take a twist. So we're going to take, you know what, I'll mirror you. Right arm behind your back, and the left hand across to the right knee. Tailbone pushes back, crown of the head reaches forward. And then look back my direction. Good, unwind from the twist, fingertips down. We'll take it to the other side. Left arm behind the back, right hand to the left knee. Gaze across that shoulder. Slowly turn your face back. Release the fingertips down. If you want to elevate your heels for an extra challenge, you can do that like we did before. And breathe. And slowly build it up. All right, turn the feet forward, face my direction. Twisting Kriya again. So we're building up for a balancing sequence after our next flow. And we'll use that goddess squat that we just did. You can also lower to a deeper squat if you want to amp up the challenge. But we'll get there after the next flow. We're going to do one more sun out. Turn to face the front, hands to prayer position. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, we're taking Chaturanga Dandasana. All the way to the floor. Coming back to Sphinx. Incorporate your legs, your glutes, your abdomen, and lengthen through your neck. Exhale down to your brow. And if you want to push up to tabletop, that's okay. Because I understand. Some days it's like, do I really want to muster up this much strength? Curl your toes. See if you can press up plank. That's on the in breath. And the out breath takes you to downward facing dog. Slide up into your sacrum, remembering this life is a sacred experience. So live without regret. Next in breath, we'll travel the feet to the top of the mat. This is closing out our final sun salve for the practice. Inhale all the way up to stand, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to prayer. All right, so we're going to do a little fun flow. And I'm just going to, let me give you a quick visual. Basically, we're going to do tree, and then we're going to step to the side and take a version of squat. So because I'm so sore here, I'm going to stay higher. You can do the lower squat if that's your preference. But once we get on this side, we're going to continue to turn that foot, and then we're going to lift up and balance like this. And then we're going to step the foot down and come back here. And then we'll rejoin tree. And then we'll step over. So you've got the picture. All right, so let's start with Vrikshasana tree. Ground and root your left leg. Lift and open the right side to tree. Gaze at one spot and breathe. Step that right foot away. Once it grounds down, feet turn out, knees open out for your variation of squat. And then that right foot, you'll lean kind of back into the left foot, rotating the right foot 90 degrees. When you land on it, fly the back foot up. Take your arms wide. When you're ready, bend the right knee, step the left foot down, come back to your squat. Turn the right foot forward, and then you're going to bring the left foot in, tree, Vrikshasana. When you're ready, left foot extends out, drop it down, toes turn out, take your squat. When you're ready, lean back towards the right foot to turn your left properly. And then lifting the back foot, taking the arms nice and wide. Bending the left knee, stepping the right foot down, returning to your squat. Awesome. All right, straighten your legs. Go ahead and come on down to the floor. When you come down to the floor, we're going to do a twist, and then you get to relax. Let your left leg extend out and let your right knee bend. Now push down through your left thigh bone, press forward and out through your left heel, spread the toes. Once you have that leg conditioned, hug the right knee in, wrap it with your left arm, take your right hand behind you, and then rotate to the right. So if you ever look at energetic anatomy or chakras, you'll see that it, spirals. I want you to close your eyes, and every time you inhale, think of the energy spiraling up towards the mind's eye to give life and energy to that vision that you have for yourself. I'll share a brief story from my past. When I was a teenager, I really wanted to go into social services. I wanted to help people. I knew that a lot of the kind of delinquents, more or less, or the people who tended to struggle that were my peers, always opened up to me about their deepest secrets or fears or troubles. I don't know why they would open up to me, but I noticed that, and I thought, okay, I think I want to work with troubled teens, or I want to work with abused women. And even though I didn't fulfill that necessarily, I can use some of those skill sets from my sociology background with every job that I've had, because every job that I've had has concerned people. I was around musicians at a young age and dated musicians while I was in college, and I loved their passion and I loved that they had talent and a skill for something. And so I stayed in the question when I was a flight attendant to the point where I made a list. This is what I don't want in a career. And then I had another list, what I would like with a career. And I had no idea what career would fit that. As you exhale in mind. All right, slide your right leg out. Bend your left knee. Same thing, condition the right leg first. This is our line of stability, our grounding line. Left knee lifts, we'll hug it with the right arm. We'll lift up energetically through the crown of the head. Stack the left hand behind you and turn to your left. Close your eyes. So staying in the question of that and carrying the list around as I was a flight attendant, I occasionally would look at the list and go, what fits, what fits? And then one day, after September 11th, I went into my first live yoga class. I was hooked. It became my passion. I was devouring all of the teachings. I couldn't learn enough. I just wanted to saturate in it daily. And then I realized one day I pulled out the list and everything fit the criteria. When I decided to leave the airlines when my son was born to make it full-time in yoga, my parents thought I was crazy. They said, there's no way you can make this work. What are you doing, getting rid of your insurance? And everything inside of me said, go for it. And I was living without regret. So I'm sharing this story just to inspire you. It's never too late. Make lists. Stay in the question. Keep seeking, keep exploring. And then exhale, unwind. All right. We are ready to relax. And I would suggest bringing this bolster back in. Now, we didn't do tons of back bends, but we did some with up dog and Sphinx. If that wasn't enough for you and you feel like you want to abide more in your heart space, of course, you can use it as a back bend. If you would rather place it underneath the legs like we did earlier when we were centering, do that. Basically, choose your position for relaxation. We're going to take 3 cleansing breaths once you settle in. I'll give you just a couple more moments. Breathe in through the nose. Out through the mouth. One more. Let it go. Softly close the lids. Let the tongue melt away from the roof of the mouth. Let the skin soften surrounding your eyes. And gaze into the mind's eye. Rest your body in a state of stillness to keep the mind awake and open. We've interweaved this theme throughout our practice. And I want to remind you, old energies are flushing out. And it's not just right now, this is happening from now, next couple years with all the planetary changes. The more of these type of practices you do, the easier it will be to navigate these shifts. I want you to consider when the new energy is pouring in, as the old energy is clearing out, how we can become more connected with our higher self, with the essence or the divine spark, unique expression, our soul contract. There may be a moment or days or times where you feel compelled to pursue something, where you may feel like following the guidance of your heart. And maybe your higher self is tapping into the original intention of why you came to this earth plane. Remember to be an active participant, not only in the imagery and vision you have for yourself, but taking action towards it. The only action you need to do now is just be contemplative, as if it were your last moments on earth. What would you regret not doing? And maybe just holding the question, trusting the answers within, and as you seek, you will eventually find. Maybe it's setting the intention after this practice to write down things you want or don't want. Maybe it's creating a savings account to take that special, far away trip to explore the place that's been calling you to come. Just rest in this wonderment, be inquisitive. And if you don't want to remain in the question, just breathe your way more to a relaxed, blissful state. ringing bell tone is to remind us to return to the breath. The breath that reminds us of the eternal moment of now. As you deepen the flow of your breath and begin to awaken a little movement in your body, eventually bend the knees or hug them in. Turning to one side and coming up to take a more formal seat. Once you join me in the seat, refine your posture, close your eyes. Join your hands together to prayer. May we all be inspired from this practice to live without regret. Obviously, honoring the ethical code of yoga while we pursue these dreams, these experiences for ourselves. The light within me honors and bows to the beautiful essence inside of you. Namaste.